siding.
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes, Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley.
Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
All right, welcome to Bock in the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Wednesday here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we're here to talk football. Nice camp by Adam Carricker out there today. 260 kids. Oh my God, that's what 5 football teams 5 leagues you can put together. Good job out there. All right, Bock, how you doing today on this Wednesday?
Oh, not too bad. It's good to be back in studio after, like you said, spending some time out there at Carricker Chronicles camp. I was wrapping up when I was leaving. They were wrapping up 7-on-7, getting into some photo taking, and I think they're going to name the MVPs of the camp. So a very exciting time out there. Like I said, it's a little bit hot. Even walking back to the car, I got quite a bit of a sweat. So I imagine the kids had a little bit, had some sweat there too.
Yeah, it's been hot the last couple of days in Lincoln. My dogs look at me crazy when I try to take them out, and I'll go sit on the porch and they'll stay in. But one thing I did catch on tape, Bock, I caught my I wouldn't say hairless. He's a short hair border collie.
Okay.
Might be the smartest dog in the world now, I think, because he knows how to open the door and let himself in.
Does he have thumbs? How's he?
I don't know. He's prying his way through the screen door and he's in the house.
Oh, good for him.
I don't know. And he's selfish because he doesn't let his other 2 brothers in.
Well, fair enough. I heard border collies, very smart dogs, so that makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, they're probably the smartest dogs out of any group of dogs. I think my mini Australian Shepherd, he's probably the most intelligent one out of them. But they all 3 get along. But I heard border collies are the smartest dogs, though.
Yeah. It is fun to go through different types of dogs. I've got a Chihuahua. Obviously, they're known for barking and ankle biting, and obviously having little man syndrome. But every type of dog's kind of got their own thing, and some of them are bred to be cute rather than smart, and so you got to go through that too. But all different type of dogs, different type of personalities. Cool stuff.
All right, Bock. There's a lot of talk floating around here in Lincoln, man. You briefed me on it yesterday, but let's get into it today.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And of course, if you've been paying attention to Husker football at all the last day and a half, you'll have probably seen this. Big 12 Media Days are going on actually today, but started yesterday. And Scott Frost was questioned there. And the big news coming out from Chris Vanini, who was tweeted out, asked Coach Frost what he learned from the Nebraska job. And Coach Frost says, don't take the wrong job. He also said I wouldn't leave at UCF unless it was someplace that you could win a national championship. I got tugged in a direction to try to help my alma mater and didn't really want to do it. It wasn't a good move. I'm lucky to get back to a place where I was a lot happier. And of course, I mean, of course, you're a little bit happier when you go undefeated, and that's kind of your walk away from UCF there in Orlando, compared to never really getting Nebraska off the ground. There were a few seasons where we thought maybe Scott Frost might be turning the corner. I think of his first season there, obviously started 0-6, but looked good toward the end of that first season. And then the second season, things just kind of fell apart quickly. I know Jay Foreman talks a lot about how COVID came up and probably didn't help Scott Frost program. Now, every team across the country dealt with that as well. Then we know about the 3-9, greatest 3-9 team of all time, but ultimately 3-9 is a pretty darn bad record. And then the fifth year that I don't think he would have been given almost at any other school. And so there was plenty of opportunity, plenty of, there's no lack of support. There was no lack of facilities or anything at Nebraska. And so now he kind of looks back on it. And of course, the things that do stick out: don't take the wrong job. He just thinks maybe it was just the wrong job. And he said, I didn't really want to do it, which is lets you kind of know about his feelings coming in here to Lincoln. I think a lot of that is hindsight. Maybe there was some of those feelings at the time. You're always going to question what moves you're making when you're at the top professionally and you're making a move. But man, it seems to like he just didn't take a whole lot of accountability for what went wrong here in 5 years at Nebraska. I would understand maybe it was 1-2 years, but 5 years?
Yeah, Bock. I'm not a fan of Scott Frost. I've never been really close to him or even spoke to him that much. I tried to let's say cheer him on when he was named head coach, because I knew him as a coach. Didn't know him as a person. But here's one thing. Hold on. Here's one thing I'm going to say. I never trusted a guy like Scott Frost, and the reason I said is because when you go behind your teammates' back and try to date a girl he dates and messes up a chemistry that we had and was able to get this guy suspended because of something he was selfish enough to do. I think when you take a job, you take the responsibilities of a job with you. That's coaching, teaching kids, doing presentations, doing a lot of things. When we say this in 2017, he quoted, "I'll be hurt if Nebraska wasn't interested in me." Quote. That's his quote. I believe that UFC team was George O'Reilly's team from the get-go. He recruited all the players there. Scott was only there for 2 years. Didn't hear anything about his recruiting class. We didn't make you do the onside kick against Northwestern in Ireland. We didn't. We didn't make up the stories of you being hungover so many times. That wasn't us. That was coming from an inside part of that program. But when you try to blame Nebraska for your failures, it makes you look like the weakest person on earth. Nobody made you take this job.
That was
Nobody made you. You signed this contract. We paid you well.
Mm-hmm.
We gave you $16.4 million buyout. You've been living off that for the last 3 years. You should be living well and comfortable. Your record at Nebraska stinks. 16-31. I wouldn't have kept you another year even if I was the AD.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go on air and you try to blast Nebraska for your failures, stand up and be a man and say, hey, I messed up as a coach. I didn't do my job. I was still young at being a head coach. Take accountability for the things you do. But when you try to downplay the state of Nebraska, some people who had your back ever since you was at Wood River, ever since you went to Stanford, ever since you came back to Nebraska to be our quarterback, and you did lead this team to a national title, but it stinks of you to go on air and try to air it out like you didn't want to be here. We didn't make you sign the contract. Coach Osborne asked you. He didn't beg you. He asked you. And this is what I want us to do. I want us to sign a home-and-home deal with Central Florida.
There we go.
I want to kick their ass 2 years in a row, and then I want to beat them in the bowl game 3 years in a row. and make him think about what he said.
We'll see if he'd still be there.
I like
by then.
that. That's
Todd
good
Euler
idea.
in for Window World Wednesday. Todd,
Yeah.
we bring you in on the hottest topic in Nebraska sports right now. Scott Frost seemingly not taking a whole lot of responsibility or accountability for what went wrong here at Nebraska. Said, don't take the wrong job. I was pulled in that direction. I didn't really want to go. What are your thoughts? What were your initial thoughts when you saw these quotes?
Yeah, I think I woke up to that or I went to bed to it. I can't remember, but I couldn't believe it when I read it. Like, I'm like, really? Like, isn't that why he was coaching all along, was to get a dream? I mean, it was a dream job.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better as far as he can't find a better job to come in and be supported, have the money, have the facilities, have all those things. And then he says, well, I should have known better not to take a job where I can't win a national championship or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
implying
what?
that as well. Yeah.
Like what? Like you can't yeah, it's frustrating, especially, obviously I grew up with Scott. We played against Scott, I played with Scott. Rough. I just think it just goes to show that he definitely, probably has a long way to go in his coaching career to be considered somebody that's even a good head coach, right? Like you can't even really he had one good year at Central Florida. We'll see what he does down there now, but at the same token, sorry, man, it's all on him. I love what Terrell said. Take responsibility for it.
I mean, we got a person. We got a text person who's saying that we ruined him. No, he ruined himself.
Yeah.
We didn't take this job. We cheered him on.
Yeah,
we cheered him on. So
support.
how are we blame? We got sympathy. He didn't sympathize for us when he coached here. He didn't sympathize us when all this stuff was going on at Nebraska. And here's the bad part about it. That Coach Osborne was brought into this because he tried to bring Scott here. I mean, if you can't take responsibility, it's like me when I signed up for the ticket. I knew what I was getting into. I knew I had to be here every day. I knew I had to speak my voice, my opinion. But at the same time, I come to work every day, I do my job, and I go home. That's what you're supposed to do when you're hired as a person that works for something.
And if you don't do your job, what happens?
You get fired.
Right.
You get fired. I don't feel sorry for him.
And so would you say, if you get fired, would you say, oh, the ticket ruined me?
Yeah, no. I ruined myself.
Right.
I'll tell you, it's like me with my drinking. I ruined it. I never blamed the alcohol. I blamed myself for drinking it.
Yeah. Why did the bartender?
I didn't blame the bartender. I didn't blame the police officer that pulled me over.
Right.
I didn't blame the doctor who was trying to assess me when I was 21 years old and I got right back out and started drinking. No, I blame myself. And that's what some people don't do. You don't blame yourself, then who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the devil? You're going to blame who? Who are you going to blame? Everybody besides yourself. I mean, you could have easily backed out of this question and say, hey, I'm here to talk about UCF. Yeah, that's it. Absolutely. You could have been a man to say, hey, I'm not doing no more questions about Nebraska. I don't coach there no more. My tenure there is done. I'm happily in a new place with a new job, trying to start my life, my career back over and get it back on track. But no, don't take the wrong job. No.
One of the worst things he could have said, I think, obviously he's going to be, he is being somewhat crucified on social media. I don't follow a ton of it, but.
Well, it's just, it kind of goes back to, too, just kind of thinking about, he's supposed to be a leader of young men, right? And you're supposed to learn lessons from losing and be able to express that and move forward. To say you didn't learn anything from his lessons at the University of Nebraska, to take zero accountability for kind of what went wrong here, it makes you wonder. And then you kind of think about, if that's his answer in front of a microphone, to the press, if you're UCF and you're interviewing for the job, I mean, they just got to be, I understand it, right? It's the return home. He led them to the national title. I get all that. But if I was asking that in the job interview and he just said, it was just kind of throwing it all off on Nebraska, man. And there's a text on here talking about how, maybe this proves that Scott Frost is right. There's a lot of toxicity here in Nebraska. You can look at it as toxicity. Bo Pelini said before, it's a fishbowl to work here. but that's the unique part about it. It's the care factor. And so you've got to be a special person to be able to coach here at Nebraska. And so that should give you even more honor when Nebraska believes that you can rise above it. And he just never did.
I mean, think about what's his name at Alabama right now. I mean, even the Ohio State coach last year, they lost to Michigan, and they were calling for his head. You think Nebraska's a hard job? Ryan Day wins the national championship after losing to Michigan, and they were calling for his head. I mean, I know a ton of Ohio State fans.
Oh,
They were like, he's gone. Like,
well, you were at the Nebraska-Ohio State game, right? That was much of the talk of the first half in the stadium.
Ryan Day's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Right? And, I mean, so every big program is going to put that pressure on the coach because it's on the head coach. It's his job. Rule has that pressure on him to to put the people on the field to win the games this year, right? So, and that's why they get paid a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
to do it, right? So, careful what you wish for sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not saying you that we're telling you not to stand behind him. I just understand about the part of the stories we heard about Scott Frost in his 5-year tenure here. Mm-hmm. Don't forget, I had a friend, Mickey Joseph, who was on the coaching staff, and it was more than worse than what you think. Mm-hmm. If you want to ask Kenny Wilhite how it was on that coaching staff, you need to ask him. So don't tell us that we don't have the right to judge. I mean, I'm not judging him. I'm just telling you what was said and facts.
Facts.
You know, you want to ask the Riola family how he went down there to talk to that kid. You want to, it's not stories we're making up.
Right.
It's you was here, you was hired for a job. You didn't do the job. We paid you 5 years of your service.
And then 16.4 million.
And then gave you $16.4 million. Okay, you go to Florida.
$1 million for every win.
If this was anything, this was bad on your SID part of the sports information director part, because they shouldn't have let you say anything about Nebraska. You should have said, I'm here to talk about Central Florida. That was it.
And he had his own struggles at media days with Nebraska, as we know. So, I mean, that was a big thing going into his 5th year when he didn't say anything for his basically, it's a State of the Union address, basically, when you're asked at a Big Ten Media Day about your program. He said, no, I'll take questions. And so he didn't have anything to say there. That didn't feel like a good leadership material. And that's kind of what, again, Scott has always been, there can be some good and bad sides about each quality you have, right? And so he's always been arrogant, and he's always been willing to say what he believes. And at times, maybe that's helped Nebraska. When he won the national championship, we all just remember it as, they won the national championship. He went in front of a mic after that game and told people, hey, we deserve a national championship. Mm-hmm. So sometimes him, arrogance and fighting on his side has helped Nebraska. But again, you would hope as kids grow older, you would think that you would start to mature, right? Start to mature. And so it feels like the maturity never developed there, and that part of his character development. And it's just hard to believe that that's the character that is going to help young men at the college level. And so again, sometimes it's frustrating. Now we see it after the fact, but you can kind of get a peek into why things didn't work, other than the 500 reasons you've heard before. I mean, because that's the thing about Nebraska. When you ask him, what did you learn at Nebraska? There's almost not one thing went right. You should have learned a lot of different things at Nebraska. Yeah. And he doesn't have anything to say but to kind of take down Nebraska as part of the answer.
All right, listen to this. Here's Ben, as a fan. The frustrating part is folks in the media now saying, oh, we knew this was going on the entire time. But why wasn't the media reporting it at the time? We can't. I mean, we have to have a relationship with the university.
Right.
First of all, we have to, because we do more than just football. We do basketball, wrestling. So we don't want to damage our relationship, especially only people that probably knew it was some ex-football players or some people who's really close to Scott. So why ruin a relationship with a whole university and worry about a coach that probably dug his own grave?
And I don't think the media knew it was going on the whole time.
Yeah, the media. I mean, even though I work in the media, even though I do media work, I still have friends outside that's in that program that tells me things. But I'm like, it's the Boy Scouts honor.
Yeah.
If you know what that is, you don't tell.
I mean,
So-
my son has told me some stuff about,
Yeah.
and I'm
You
not
keep it
going
to
share
yourself.
that.
Yeah.
There are things, and you learn when you go to journalism school too. There's things that are like newsworthy. There are things that you're going to learn that you do want to keep to yourself that aren't necessarily
No, because they're
newsworthy.
going to call you a liar in the first place.
Well,
So
you got to be able
that-
to prove
yeah.
things. If you're just going on
Yeah.
hearsay and this and that, then you can't report it. And so, I mean, there's and then the other thing though is like you talk about all these things and you can listen to whispers around Lincoln and Steel. And again, if you can't prove it, then you can't report it. But the other thing is we act like there's all these like they had to hide all this sort of stuff when they were losing, when they like there was a lot of on the field football reasons. I mean, they were having a winning season, and he would always go on to the podium after the games. And at a certain point after losing so many games, it's like you could tell he didn't have the answers. If he had the answers, he would have employed them.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's rumors and stuff that were going on and around. And like I said, there were times, I mean, we knew from his opening press conference, the Big Ten is going to have to adjust to me. He's got a certain personality where he's going to be arrogant. The media knew that. The fans knew that. I think everybody knows that who knows Scott
He's
Frost.
arrogant when he's a player here.
Right.
So,
He's always been arrogant.
He was arrogant in high school.
Yeah. So,
So we
it's
beat
not-
him.
Yeah. I mean, he had to come here and get humbled. That red shirt year he took, and we humbled him. But after that, it was the same old Scott. So, but I have no hard feelings. Let's just let this play out on the football field.
Yeah.
Instead of the media, let it play
Home
out
and
on the
home.
football field. Let Troy Danny go talk to
Home
them.
and home.
Let them
Guys,
go
I'm
do
sorry.
it. Huh?
I've got to tell you something. That's not going to happen in a million years.
I know.
The
Be
last
fun, though.
thing that Matt Rule wants to do, even if he has a great season, is 2 years lose to Scott Frost.
Yeah, it would not be fun.
Wow.
just the chance that you lose that game. That
No
is
chance.
a disaster.
No chance.
No chance. Not a chance in hell, Bob.
They're not. Well, I'm saying there's no chance they're signed up for that game. To your point, maybe we could see it in the postseason.
Bowl
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Bowl
Yeah.
game. I mean, he started it.
It'd sell a lot of
let
tickets.
us
It would
finish.
sell tickets.
Oh,
sell
it
a
would
lot of
sell tickets. I don't care if it was the Gotham Bowl or Part Tart Bowl. They could even play this. We can play this at UNO Field. For all I care.
I don't know if they have field still. Tough topic there.
All right. All right. This is Win the World Wednesday here on Bock and the Blackshirt, here on 93.7 The Ticket. And when we come back, we'll have the Euler Report.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G1214492. G1-87747 and G1-96599.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-offs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bock and the Blackshirt, and we are now ready for Window World Wednesday with the Euler Report.
All right, Euler Report. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. We're out there. I tell you what, we've packed like the warehouse. We have so many windows that we need to get installed. So some of this rain, which I know the farmers love up in my area, but this rain's really kind of setting the schedule back a little bit. So, but we'll get them all in and, make sure if you have any, like I was just out this morning for some basement windows. I was out yesterday, patio doors. I had another quote for an entry door. Just finished up a contract with siding, roofing, and their windows. So, and their gutters. It was a pretty big bid that we got. So, we do it all at Window World here in Lincoln, and we cover a lot of area. It's not just Lincoln, Beatrice, York. Man, I've been everywhere. We're going to be in Fairbury at their fair this weekend with the little Window World place there, so you can come out to the Fairbury Fair and see us. That's hard to say, Fairbury Fair.
Fairbury Fair, I like it. Yeah.
Oh, that was the Fairbury hot dog?
I'm hoping I get some Fairbury.
Yeah, that's where they're from. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Maybe
I think they just
How far is that?
It's about an hour and a half from here.
I might have to go up there and eat me a foot-long hot dog.
Yeah.
Those red hot dogs. Those are the only things people eat in town. That's their breakfast, lunch, and
Oh,
dinner.
they're red. They're red?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
red.
no, I like brown.
You don't like those red ones?
No.
No, I think it's just food dye. I think they taste the same.
My Oscar Mayer has a name.
There you go.
So things are going great. And otherwise, Trent, the team was off last week, so Trent was home all last week. It was good to see him, and I didn't get to play golf with him. I got to be his caddy for a couple rounds.
Yeah. You can't swing.
I can't swing a club yet. And last week, like last Monday, I felt amazing, and then Tuesday night, I don't know what happened, and it went south real quick. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're overdoing it." I'm like, "I'm really not."
Maybe your workout's still getting them in.
I was just walking.
Yeah.
which Rashawn called me the other night. He goes, "Your streak's over." No, it's not. But so I had a rough Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. I mean, even yesterday morning, I woke up and I was like, it's something about just laying flat and then trying to get up is the worst part. When I'm moving, I'm feeling pretty good. But
what about one of those back pillows with the little hump in it?
Yeah, well, so my doctor told me not to sleep with my brace on, so I don't, and I think it gets out of whack. And so I slept with my brace last night here in Lincoln and at Trent's apartment, and it was much better this morning. But they did put me on some steroid pills to help maybe with the inflammation is still causing some issues. But, 4.5 weeks out from surgery, I can't complain. I mean, things feel a lot better, except for when I wake up. Or if I lay down and go to get up, it's pretty brutal yet. So, and I guess that's somewhat to be expected. They put some screws and some plates and different things in there. But yeah, otherwise, no. I mean, I just cannot. So maybe I shouldn't tell this, but there's some guys. So they had to report back Sunday night. This little inside scoop. And a couple guys were late and a couple guys didn't make it. So he said, all right, we're going to, you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So they show up at 6 a.m. and they have to bear crawl the stadium stairs.
Ooh.
And they were going to just do one side of it. Well, guess what? 6 people didn't show up. They weren't there. So he said, well, you guys will go until these guys show up. He said they bear crawled those stadium stairs for an hour. And then the other guys finally showed up, which didn't have to bear crawl any of the stairs.
Boy,
they
those
weren't
guys
there.
aren't the most popular on the team.
No. Don't know who they were. I didn't ask.
They would have got their butt whooped in the locker room.
I text Trent and I said they might need a soap party. If he's from Full Metal Jacket, I don't know if you've ever seen that. He's like, "What's a soap party?" So I sent him the clip from Full Metal Jacket with the soap party. And he said,
"So is Trent able to run now?
Yeah.
That's good."
Even the bear crawl stadium.
He said, So his first day back to running, he's bear crawling, and he goes, "Dad, I puked. There was so many guys puking. There was so much." So hopefully it rains a little bit. Get that puke out of Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, I ran into 2 of his linebacker buddies at Chipotle's the other day. Jacob Bauer and Javen Wright.
Yeah,
I talked to them for a little while, and I was happy for both of the young men because, especially Jacob, because he came out of nowhere to earn his scholarship and probably earning a starting or more playing time this year. So I told him that I want to get them all on the show. I want to get all the linebackers on the show.
Fun, yeah.
I want to get him, Willis McGahee, Vincent Shavers, just all the linebackers in at once, and just to, have linebacker talk. I don't want to talk football, but I do want to see how they're doing it. And as a group, how do y'all get along together with so much competition in one room? So it's like that room with Coach Bowles when we had Doug Coleman and Phil Ellis and Jay Foreman and John Hesdom battles, me and Twig, and then we had Jamel was also a wheel at one point before they moved him to Sam. So it was just, a congested room, but we was all able to help each other in some kind of way.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody brings a little different toolkit, right? I wouldn't say Trent's the fastest straight ahead, but he's pretty darn quick side to side. He's probably not your best bench presser, but he might be your top squatter on that squad, right?
Yeah.
So they all bring a little something different to the toolkit, right? And I think that in this day and age of how football is played is, got to have those people that can, hey, this is what we want to do on third down. This is the guy that's going to be in there on third down. The days of playing from start to finish are pretty much done, right?
I don't know. I never did it.
That's what I'm just saying. Like, it's. I mean, that's those days. Like, you're going to have those situational people that just fit. How our defensive coordinator wants that to look on certain down distances, that kind of stuff. So,
well, and now that you bring it up, it is interesting because Tony White, that was a big part of his defense. Is we're going to rotate a lot. We're going to get a lot of different guys in. I wonder if Coach Butler, if they keep that philosophy.
Yeah, and I think I think to be a good defensive coordinator, you got to have those different looks, and different guys bring different things to different sets, right? So I think you will see a lot of linebackers playing this year in certain down. Like I said, like he's got a really good toolkit in that linebacker room, right? You can plug this guy in for this, and you can plug this guy in when you need this, right? I thought what was really funny is one of the linebackers asked Trent, you know, "Oh, you glad to be back?" He goes, "Man, I just want to get the pads on." Trent just wants to hit people. and this
he's
guy,
a Bobby Boucher of Nebraska.
He's a Bobby Boucher. And this guy looked at Trent and he said, "Man, I don't think I've like know any other violent person like you." Like he goes, I don't get excited to put the pads on and hit people. And Trent's like, "That's the only reason I play." Like,
he's a gladiator.
He just wants to
Now,
hit people.
question. Now, we're going to talk about Jaden Dawson a little later, but with this new transfer portal they got from the 5th of July to August 7th.
Yep.
Has Rule said anything about it? Or
So Trent actually brought that up yesterday at supper when we were eating, and he said, "Well, they designated me as a what did he call it? Student athlete or something like that. They designated me as this. I have until August 7th if I want to get in the portal."
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm a Husker." So
okay.
But yeah, so they did set him down and tell him
designated
like,
student athletes is what they're being called. DSAs.
Yeah, designated student athlete. So so that was talked about Sunday night, I believe. They sat everybody down that was, not on scholarship or not necessarily that 105, right? So they had to designate who those people are. So
what's the count on the team right now?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know spring ball had like 125.
Yeah.
So
a couple guys here, punter, kicker.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I did see for some news, Jaden Doss did hit the transfer portal. This most recent transfer portal. So that's another guy that was jumping around positions. But that leads me kind of your question to Trent too. Is going from fullback to linebacker. Is there a different body type or anything that he was kind of focusing on as far as different weight sets or anything, or is he pretty much already built like a linebacker and ready to roll?
Well, when he was just not happy at fullback, to be real honest. So I think when he got moved to linebacker, now he's happy. So he weighed in at 232 yesterday morning. His last DEXA scan, he had gained 8 pounds of muscle and dropped 6 pounds of fat. So things are going in the right direction now. Like that wasn't the case. Like he was just really unmotivated playing fullback. So yeah, I think he's
not a lot of reps.
he's one of the bigger linebackers. And their goal for him is 235. And he's had that talk with like he's probably going to by his senior year be at 245. And he's just got that big frame, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why they moved into linebacker, because Nebraska hasn't had a real good sized linebacker. And when I say that, I mean you look at Marquise Watson Trent, who's probably 5'10", 215, 220.
Right.
And then you look at a guy like Vincent Shavers, who is really actually gaining weight, but you don't want your outside linebacker to be that big and try to lose that speed. And then you look at a kid like Javen Wright, who's 6'4", 6'5".
Right.
So he's able to carry that weight. And then on the other side, and that's a jack position, but you want guys that play that jack position to have weight to handle some of those.
Well, you got to blitz against offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Ole.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
Not all of us were that like.
Well, I'm like a bull. What they call them bullfighters. I hold that little red. I hold that little red flag. That you got to move with the flag. So you're right about that. Not everybody can twitch and turn and slide through a hole. So sometimes you have to dip your shoulder and hit that guy and run right through him.
His favorite thing was getting to blitz those old linemen. And he said he just go. He just loves contact. I don't know where he got that from.
Well, him and Elijah Pritchett are gonna have to meet up one day. Yeah. So we hope everything goes well with that battle.
Right.
Yeah, all right. This is Bock in the Black Shirt right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is Window World Wednesday. And when we come back, more football talk.
All right, let's do it.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikerolloff.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake. A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules.
All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom. All right, welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on Win the World Wednesday. As the SEC begins to wrap up, not the SEC, the Big 12 begins to wrap up their conference. The SEC is next, July 14th to the 17th. Then you got the what they call this, the MW? Mountain West is July 16th through the 17th. Conference USA is just one day, July 22nd. The SBC is July 22nd and 23rd. The ACC is the 22nd through the 24th. The Big Ten is the 22nd to the 24th. And the MAC is July 24th. And the Atlantic is July 24th and 25th. Are we missing something? The Pac-10.
Well,
the Pac-3 now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they did. I think they held one last year. Maybe that was 2 years ago.
Do they actually go, or they do it over the phone?
I can't remember. I think the last one they did basically was just Oregon State and Washington State. So I think it was just a few people getting together.
Yeah, they had a big table, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just some room in a hotel somewhere.
All right, Bock, give us your Colorado take.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Colorado's making, of course, yesterday we talked ad nauseum. Well, we'll continue probably to talk about Scott Frost and his thoughts from Big 10 Media, or excuse me, Big 12 Media Day. But there's another figure there at Big 12 Media Day that gets a lot of attention by the name of Deion Sanders. And some interesting stuff so far. So Brett McMurphy just tweeted this out about 20 minutes ago. Colorado's Deion Sanders asked a question by The Athletic, by the way, the same company that tweeted out the Scott Frost response, which maybe has gotten him in a little hot water. So Colorado's Deion Sanders asked a question by The Athletic, refuses to answer. He says, "You're going to be on that bull junk." So Colorado, as usual, Deion Sanders picking and choosing which questions and from who he is willing to talk to. But maybe the more interesting part to me is the quarterback situation that he has at Big 12 Media Day. Now, Oklahoma State has an open quarterback competition. They didn't bring any of their quarterbacks. Zane Flores, of course, former Nebraska high school quarterback here, is among those at Oklahoma State. So watch out for that. Colorado has an open quarterback competition as well. And Deion went the opposite route. He says, I'm bringing both guys. So Caden Salter and Juju Lewis, competing for the starting quarterback spot, are both at Big 12 Media Days with Colorado. Notable about that is that Juju Lewis is 17 years old. There is a representative at Big 12 Media Day that was born in 2007 right now, if you want to feel a little bit older. So what do you guys think about bringing two quarterbacks who are in an open competition at Big 12 Media Day? Now, you're going to get your leader, your quarterback out in front for, you get reps for both of them. But I would think this is a bit risky. The other guy's going to feel like I should be a starter somewhere.
Well, I love Juju. First of all, he's a five-star quarterback from Carrollton, Georgia, country town right outside of Atlanta, right there. Boy. He's a Georgia guy. I also like the kid that came from what was that, Liberty?
Yeah.
He's a great quarterback, mobile. Has a good record when it comes to wins and losses. But you have to take both. I don't say you have to take both of them, but when you're in a critical part and trying to find a guy who can take that job that Shedeur Sanders had and put up a lot of yards, it's probably hard to say to replace.
Well, I think don't you think it's going to be who can take the most hits? I mean, Shedeur Sanders took a lot of hits.
He did, but when I think the offensive line gets better, especially when you have the guy
hope so.
Jordan Saxton coming back, who's a big kid that, and it gives you enough time to since the season last year, you got a whole 8-9 months now to work on their craft and try to get that line better, especially if you got a bunch of young
They're
guys.
not good.
Yeah, they wasn't good at all. Yeah, it's like a JUCO line.
I'm telling you, I don't know how Shedeur survived. But and if these guys don't have that kind of durability, I mean, I all the credit to Shedeur to stand in there and take the hits he took last year. That was a lot. So I think they put two guys out there, and hey, which one's going to represent our team better, right? Like it's probably kind of a test, Yeah. Like which one of these guys is going to represent our team the way we want represented the best, knowing, your quarterback's getting interviewed after every game. I'm most of the time, right? I mean, I don't know any other position that is usually always, in that post-game interview room more than a quarterback. So it's a good time to test them both out and see how they kind of perform under pressure. Oklahoma State leaving all the quarterbacks home. That gives them a lot of confidence, right? Where's Zane Flores from?
California.
Well, Gretna, right?
Gretna.
No.
Oh, Gretna.
Zane Flores.
The
Yeah,
quarterback?
when you said that.
The
Yeah,
quarterback
he was
at
from
Oklahoma
Gretna, right?
State,
Yeah. He won that. He beat Westside.
Oh, yeah. That was about 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Like
3?
Yeah.
He was a freshman when he left.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a good arm, though.
Yeah.
All right. Brian Miller on YouTube says, if Dylan Raiola doesn't work out to the level of expectations this year, what does it say about Matt Rhule tenure at Nebraska? Bock, you want to go first? Anybody?
Well, obviously that wouldn't be good. I mean, Dylan Raiola seems to be kind of the face of the franchise, if you will. No, it's not a franchise. The University of Nebraska, and obviously at the quarterback position, it's going to be very important. If they don't quite hit that, especially with all the moves that have been made to bring in Dana Holgorsen, I can't imagine they're going to have a very successful season. So part of it kind of depends on, again, the context. Let's say Dylan doesn't work out, the defense explodes, and Nebraska goes 9-4. Okay, there's a different narrative than Dylan doesn't work out. Nothing really comes along. They go 5-7. So a lot of it is going to go back for Matt Rhule's tenure, I think, to the wins and losses. Dylan specifically will be judged and higher than anybody else on the team. But I guess that's my answer is a lot of it will depend on what it looks like from there.
Well, I think, a little Scott Frost, right? Scott Frost hitched his horse to Adrian Martinez.
Absolutely.
And I mean, even when it looked like we need a change, and I like Adrian, don't get me wrong, but at some point, like, we can't win. Like, he kept fumbling, like, in the worst, or throwing an interception in the worst time you could throw. Like, you just don't even throw the ball, we win the game, right? Like, it's just some crazy stuff. So obviously if Dylan doesn't have a great year this year, does Matt hitch his horse to him? You know what I mean? Like, I expect him to have a phenomenal year. I really do. I guess that's drinking the Rule-Aid, right? So I do think he'll have a pretty good year with the weapons he has and the rebuild offensive line. But if he doesn't, how long's Rule hitch his horse to him, right? I don't know. We've got some guys coming up, some recruits coming in.
Yeah, you gotta not be afraid to bench a guy.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like I said, I have faith in Coach Rule in the process he's doing at Nebraska. Now, I think he's smart enough coach to see if somebody is struggling. Hey, I need to sit you down. I mean, I'm not saying bench Dylan for a whole game, but sometimes I gotta sit you down and let you understand, like, you need to control yourself out there, and still with having a quarterback coach and an OC at the same time would be favoring Nebraska. I mean, we can't have him in that sophomore slump mode after a mid-year crisis that we had last year. I think Dylan can get better. I think we also have to think about, it's not just Dylan that has to get better. It's the offensive line has to get better. The receivers have to get better. We got to put better targets out there for him. And it's called 11 people out there. So, and Dylan is the main figure, but I think he's good enough, and I think Matt Rule's a smart enough coach that if something does go wrong, we have to, pause that moment and try to get him to relax. I mean, I know he's going to be hype about this year, really, with all the publications not really in favor of him in ranking wise and all these things. But I do like what his offense is going, especially with Coach Holgerson in there, who's probably not afraid to pull the plug on anybody out there.
Yeah. Well, and Brian did add in too. He says it feels like they are tied together, Raiola and Rule. And to your point there, Todd, I think it's more and more these days than ever. I mean, Mike Riley, he kind of inherited Tommy Armstrong, then it got a shot. Okay, let me put Tanner Lee in here, and he was fired like 3 or 4 games in. Right. You don't get this, long pick this quarterback and that quarterback. Of course, that hurt Matt Rule in Carolina. They didn't necessarily have a quarterback, but you think about so far, especially what I would think if Dillon didn't work out and Rule was still, it wasn't bad enough for them to move off of Rule, would be what would be your faith in the next quarterback. Now we think about Trey Taylor coming along or somebody like that. Would you want to go back through, to your point, the whole let's give the thing to a freshman and see if it kind of works out in the next couple of years? Because at that point, and so far, like Dylan Raiola, somewhat the saving grace as this face of the team with being the quarterback. Because the first couple of years, you had Jeff Sims and Heinrich Harburg as your primary quarterbacks. I suppose Jeff Sims is just year one. Already kind of struck out there once at that position.
Yeah, and here's the one thing, and I know that Matt Rose did the best thing he had to do for this team. It was get a experienced receiver coach and to help us get these receivers on the right route, because as we seen last year, they wasn't running the routes fully. They'll stop. They wouldn't, balls was dropped. So you get an experienced coach in that works on the weak stuff that we messed up on last year and make them stronger at that. And I think that helps Dylan Raiola 100% out better and puts him in a position to win.
Yeah.
Take us out, Bock.
All right, you are listening to Bock in the Black Shirt on a Window World Wednesday with Todd Euler in studio. We'll be back to talk more football coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
An award-winning softball season deserves a celebration. Don't miss your chance to congratulate Jordy Ball in person. Join the team at Midwest Bank for a special meet and greet on July 16th at their Jamie Lane location as they recognize her incredible achievements. Bring your friends, your team spirit, and your favorite gear for Jordy to sign, and it all kicks off at 4 p.m. They can't wait to see you there. Get all the details at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952, Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly, NATE certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley. Defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror. Number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome back to Win the World Wednesday here on Bock in the Blackshirt at 93.7 The Ticket. Bock, Dan Landon didn't even take a single vacation this summer. He just flew around the world collecting blue chips like it was Pokemon Go. Took his 26th class from number 37 to number 9 in less than a month. Has the highest average commit rate in the country. Probably took someone that we wanted. What do you think about these tactics that he has done? He also lost a commit by jumping in the pool with him, and then you see the video where
I saw him jump in the pool. He lost that guy.
Yeah, he lost that guy. Just some of the stuff you do to get these kids to commit, and then they leave.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting world where you see a head coach do that sort of thing. Of course, Dan Lanning, a younger head coach, only 39 years old, so maybe still understanding that world a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, Oregon. As I don't know if people recognize as much as maybe as it was that Oregon, that might have been their best team of all time. Now they had the Marcus Mariota team that went to the championship game. This team didn't make it to the championship game, but in any other year likely would have, right? They were the number 1 seed, the only undefeated Power 4 team going into the postseason last year. All that kind of gets to, you kind of forget about it once you see what Ohio State did to them in the Rose Bowl. But Dan Lanning's got Oregon exactly where they need to be. I'm not surprised. I'd be surprised to see them outside of the top 10. The other thing is, as we all know, Oregon has incredible money, incredible facilities. My uncle went out there. He's a graduate of Oregon, went out there again. And he was just kind of comparing to how it was back in the day when it was like, they were barely winning any football games. The support just wasn't there. He said now, some of their facilities put any facilities he's seen to shame, including Nebraska's, unfortunately. And so we know they've got the money out there. So I'd like to go out there, like you just said. I'd like to go see it and compare it, because I know Nebraska's up there competitive in the arms race, if you will, as well.
Yeah, I'd have to see it.
I love Nike, though.
Yeah?
I love Nike shoes.
Yeah.
That's one thing I do. All right, Bock, this is for you. Basketball talk. Tickets for Cooper Flag versus Bronny James range anywhere from $85 to $3K. It's set to be the highest average price for the NBA Summer League since Victor Wembanyama.
Wembanyama, yeah.
Yeah, debuted in 23.
Yeah, that's exciting. I mean, I'd certainly take the $86 ticket rather than the $3,000 one. So I guess you just got to be smart on which ticket you're buying. But it's exciting. I mean, Cooper Flag, obviously the number one player. Bronny's still trying to prove that he can be at that next level, be in the NBA. So I understand all the kind of the attractiveness of that, especially when you're out there, when you go out there to watch Summer League. You might watch a game here and there. You're probably going to watch more than one, obviously, to make your way out there, unless you're a local. But either way, there's certain matchups that line themselves up to be the most interesting. That probably is it.
Yeah, Bock. Now I love this. I'm just going to read. Now here's something about your Cardinals. Now I'm just reading through my little short talk list right here. The Arizona Cardinals are offering fans to travel road games with the team, and it starts at only $2,500. A team chartered flight with hotel accommodations, full transportation, tailgates hosted by team greats, and lower level tickets. What do you think about that, Bob?
I think that's pretty cool. Now, obviously, it depends on how much money you have, but that'd be something I would be interested in doing. Maybe if I get lucky and so the money department at some point. But no, you got to kind of pretend to be an NFL player. I'd wear my Arizona Cardinals gear, try to look like I was on the team. I don't think I'd fool anybody that might think I'm a water boy or something. But in any case, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, trainer.
Athletic
trainer. There you go.
All right.
A lot of fun, yeah.
All right, Arizona State coach. What's his name? Kenny Dillingham. He had a take about his roster retention over recruiting the highest ranked player with the evolution of NIL and revenue sharing. This is what he said. Our best players are going to make the most money on our team. If you have a problem with that, become the best player. Are we going to lose a lot of recruits because I'm not going to tell a kid he's going to make $500K and put it in the contract that I can change your salary at my discretion? That's not what I'm about.
You got to respect it. I talk about young head coaches, 35 years old, getting Dillingham. So, and he believes that Arizona State is a sleeping giant. He thinks he can wake them up. Being there in Tempe, obviously got to a good start last year. He's going to have one of the best quarterback wide receiver combinations this year. Obviously lose their do everything running back, so they're going to have to replace him. But I like that because so much, I could even hear it from rumblings with talking to some players the last couple of years here, is just the way the NIL system kind of worked. Obviously, we called it a Wild Wild West because it wasn't designated or set up for the best players to make the most money on the team. In fact, it was like if you were on the team already, it somewhat penalized you because when they brought it in, it was like, all right, now let's use the money on recruits and bringing recruits in. So I like doing it. That might not be the best way as far as getting the top end recruits because a lot of them are going to be looking for money, but it is going to get guys that are willing to come in and put in the work. So I think it's a bold strategy, but it's one that could pay off if, it kind of sets the foundation, the culture to work on being the best players on the team.
I think at least he has a structure.
Yeah.
At least, most of these places don't.
I like the guts that he says to tell a young kid, hey, you got to come earn this money. I mean, I think that should go around to each college and make these kids get out and earn it. I wouldn't want to pay a kid $1 million before I seen him even have a play down in college.
Well, and a lot of it's out of the transfer portal too. So at least you have an idea of what they're coming in, but still, if they haven't done anything for your team, but again, those guys that's when you're at the most desperate. That's when you're adding positions, adding positions of need. And, if there's the last couple guys in the transfer portal, that's, they've kind of got some leverage on you. So that's where it's turned out in transfer portal. And again, college football, sports in general, trying to figure out a way to organize all this. They're making strides. I think we can all see that. But it's still a little bit of a wild scenario out there. And remember, with all this, the money coming in from the rev share, and that's what I thought was really interesting. I saw a Texas Tech player sign a 3-year, $5 million rev share deal. So it's it's
And that's the
directly-
freshman, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And
Offensive lineman. He's not
offensive
even
lineman.
there yet.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see it, put out there now as
$5
being a
million
rev
on
share
one
deal.
person of the
Yeah.
20 million.
Yeah, but again, that's where it gets interesting is how many schools are going to be able to go above the rev share deal quite a bit and bid, higher, because Ohio State, they're talking about having a $35 million roster this year. And obviously, rev share is going to only cover about 20% of it for the school, 21 million, I should say, for the school. And then that's not, the football team's only about 16, 17, 15, depending on where you're at, right? But some schools are going to go well above that with their still having their collectives.
NILs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bock. Enough of the college football 26 talk. 2K26 is out.
Is it out already?
No, it's coming out.
Oh, it's coming out. Okay.
And guess who made the cover?
Oh, man. let
3
me guess.
people made the cover.
Oh, 3 of them. Okay.
Yeah. SGA,
Yeah, that was my first guess.
Angel Reese,
That would have not been one of my guesses.
Angel Reese.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, you could have given me a lot of guesses. That would have been hard to come through with that one. Those 3 guesses.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm happy she made it.
Well,
This girl had 7. How many rebounds she had in 3 games, Bock? Like
Her own shot.
70. No, 70. She had 76 rebounds in 3 games.
Because she missed 70
No,
shots.
she didn't miss 70. No.
Okay, she missed 50.
Yeah.
And got
I mean,
her own
I
rebound.
wouldn't put Caitlin Clark on there because too many people. I mean, 2K is a different game. I mean, if you
I've
ever
never
played
played
2,
it.
yeah, like I say, 2K is real hood. So you get to run through. No, it's like it's a big park that you just run through and have fun in. I mean, it's a good game, but I wish they would have made the shot selection a lot better because I would have still been playing it. Last time I played 2K was probably 19.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was the best. I think
never played
19
it.
was the best
Yeah.
one they ever had.
Well, I loved 2K, especially a few years ago. I was probably about that same era. And then they kind of made it because you used to be able to just hop on the sticks and play.
Yeah.
And now you got to know each combination to get a, reverse layup compared
Yeah,
to,
I didn't,
so
yeah,
there's
they
all-
made it too difficult
They've
for me.
made it very difficult. You can't just hop on and play. So that's interesting. But as far as cover choice, also interesting, highlighting the fact that I'm sure the WNBA is in the game. I know they've done that a few years ago. So you take advantage of the surge of the sport. WNBA has increased in popularity. Caitlin Clark's a big part of that. Angel Reese, somewhat of her adversary, has been a big part of that. To your point, Terrell, she's averaging close to 13 rebounds per game, had 13, averaged 13 in her rookie season. So taking advantage of that popularity. And then, like you said, even Carmelo Anthony. So it kind of brings back in some of maybe people a generation ago or whatever it may be to kind of get your legend, your WNBA star, and then your MVP. So I think it's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I think it'll be all right. There's a lot of stuff
Is there
going
a
on.
jinx on that one like there is on all the other
On
ones?
Madden?
No, not really in 2K. I mean, SGA, he's pretty. He's good. Camilo, he never won a title, did he, Bock?
No, he didn't. Well, in college at Syracuse. But
Yeah,
not
well.
in the NBA.
All right.
Is the Madden curse still a thing, or is that? Does
I
anybody
thought it
break
was
the Madden
I
curse?
thought it was the Campbell soup curse.
I think Donovan McNabb had that's who I think of about Campbell Soup.
All right, Bock. I got the 25 worst coaches hires in the last 25 years. We have
boy.
one coach on there. No, it's not Scott Frost, but I'm willing to make a trade.
Is there really just one Nebraska hire on there? I can think about
Well,
3 of them that
it's
deserve.
two honorable mentions,
Oh, okay.
and it's one coach that's on there at number 19.
Mm.
All right, 25 is Mike Lakowski from, where was he at? New Mexico. When he was there, Bock, he was 2-26.
Yeah, well, that'll do it for you. That's pretty bad.
Steve Abduzzi at number 24, Colorado State. He was 4-12 and didn't keep the job very long.
I love Steve Adazio, but yeah, it didn't do too well there. But he like just guys being guys. We used to play his comment back here on the station.
I don't know why they had this. I guess, I don't know, but Mike Riley's at number 23.
Well, I mean, it was an awful hire.
19 and 19, though. All right, we got a coach that's 19 and 19, and we had one 16 and 31. Which one would you put on there, Bob?
Well, a part of it's the context of who you're taking over for, though, too. That's why the Mike Riley hire is so bad, or is doesn't age well, I suppose, is because he took over for a Bo Pelini crew that was winning 9-10 games consistently, and then within 3 years, had it kind of pieces of what it used to be. Scott Frost obviously took over from there, and it's hard to argue he did any better. So I mean, I would consider both of them to be on this list. I always called Mike Riley kind of a bargain bin hire. It seemed like, Sean Eichhorst was trying to outthink the room. Just never really made a whole lot of sense to me. And I don't think it made a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people, because after it was two years and about 3 games they gave up. They didn't give him a long time to get it done, whatever his vision was supposed
Wasn't Eichhorst fired?
Eichhorst was fired early in that season, pretty much writing on the wall for Mike Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a
All right, next coach.
That at all.
Godfrey Collins. He was 10-28 at Georgia Tech.
Okay, Jeffrey Collins, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Strong, Texas. If I was him, I would have stayed at Louisville because he had a good thing going, and that's where some of the coaches mess up at when they're at a school. Louisville's a pretty good school, but when you hop in, you hop in something that's not in your field or conference. Yeah, he hopped to Texas and went 16-21 there.
Yeah, I mean it's still, even looking back at it, 3 years at Texas, 3 losing seasons, 6-7, 5-7, and 5-7. Coming off that great run at Louisville, it's just hard to imagine anybody having 3 straight losing seasons at Texas, but it happened.
That was in the Big 12.
Big 12, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
They're in the SEC now. I mean, yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I never knew this guy coached at Auburn. Brian Harsin. He was 9-12. Auburn spent $21 million to fire Gus Mazzano, held off boosters to push to promote Kevin Steele, who was once here, and then got him from Boise State.
Yeah, they didn't give him too much time either. I mean, he's like a year and a half in. They let him go.
I'm just going to read some of the notable coaches that we know. Kevin Sumlin, 9-20 at Arizona. Bock, you remember his tenure there?
Absolutely. I remember talking to somebody about Kevin Sumlin maybe be a good fit for Nebraska at one time and tell him, no, have we not learned anything from the Mike Riley era? I don't think that ever quite worked out. Now, he obviously coached, had some recruiting success before and coaching success at times at Houston, but with Johnny Manziel. But it turns out it's easier to coach with Johnny Manziel than not. Even though he was probably hard to coach at times. So we'll put it that way.
Willie Taggy, Florida
Tagger,
State, 9-12. He didn't last 2 years there. That didn't go well. Darryl Hazell, Purdue, 9-33. Some of these records are terrible.
Well, and that's what, again, going back to the context of the Mike Riley, Darrell Hayes, I don't think he beat anybody in the Big Ten basically for like years. And then that first season under Mike Riley, they went 2-10 that year under Darrell Hazel. And their only other win, other than Nebraska, who they beat 55-45, was FCS Indiana State. So that was a battle of two pretty bad hires there.
All right, they got another one on there. Ryan Walters. He didn't last, but what he was at 2 years? Yeah,
3 years, yeah.
3 years, 5-19. Former defensive coordinator for Illinois, who I got a chance to meet him at the Big Ten Media Day in Indy, probably 3 years ago. So, nice to meet him. Greg Robinson, Syracuse, Bock, 5-37.
Ooh, he was given quite some time.
Yeah.
Ryan Walters, by the way, now the defensive coordinator at Washington, so he's still within the Big Ten.
Okay. Do we play Washington this year or next year?
Not this year, yeah.
Okay. Derek Dooley, 15-21 at the University of Texas.
Now, that was Tennessee, right?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I read it wrong. Jeremy Pruitt, 5-19, Texas. Les Miles.
I think that was also Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't know why I see the Texas and the Tennessee. They look both the same to me. Les Miles, Kansas.
I don't know how that could have gone any more disastrous.
Yeah.
Les Miles. I thought that he might be the one to help turn it around. I mean, they've been struggling for so long.
3-18.
Man, yeah, and then some off the field stuff going on as well. So, yeah, I that couldn't have got any worse for the Mad Hatter.
All right, Charlie Weiss, Kansas,
Well,
6-22.
There's another.
I thought that would have
Kansas,
worked.
yeah,
He was a pretty good. Didn't he come from Notre Dame to go coach at Kansas?
Yeah, it was kind of weird because he wasn't necessarily at the top of his game by the time Kansas had hired him. And yeah, like you said, at that point, he went 35-27 at Notre Dame. And so they kind of got, they gave him 5 years, kind of got rid of him. And then he waited 3 more years to get the Kansas job. So he wasn't necessarily the hottest, name out there by the time he got there. And similar to a lot of these coaches, right? You could see where it's not going in the right direction. He got 2 years and some spare change in his third year to try to prove it, and didn't get it going anywhere.
All right, Ty Willingham, when he coached at Washington, 11-37.
Give him some time too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, he was a name that at one time looked like was out there for every head coaching job, coming off that what he did at Stanford, and then he had his time at Notre Dame that didn't quite work out. So kind of a similar story, and then just never got it going at Washington either. What do you say? 11-37, including his final season at Washington, 0-12, not one win.
Now
these are some bad hires. Yeah.
Hey, now these two coaches on here never coached a game, but got hired at the respectful university. One was at the University of Alabama, and one was at the University of Pitt. Mike Price, Pierce Price,
Price,
and Michael Haywood. None of these coaches ever coached a game at these schools. Mike Pierce Price got fired for improper behavior at a golf charity event.
Oops.
And Haywood left Miami, Ohio to be Pitt, but only lasted a few weeks after being arrested and charged with felony domestic violence charges. So these coaches never made it a month there.
Well, probably good news for Alabama, because I'm trying to think. Price was
right
after
before
Saban. Yeah, we're not too ahead of Saban. Who knows what happened if butterfly effect there.
And this is what Alabama president said about the time of the fire. He said his mistake has severely hurt our university and will hurt our university for years to come. What year was that, Bock?
So that was 2003, I believe.
Right before Nick Saban. Who got hired after that? Was that Sylvester Crum or who was Schuler? Who was that after before?
I'm trying to think, because Saban was Saban was like 3 years later. So they had somebody after him. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up to see who it is real quick. I can do it.
Yeah. All right, let's go to break. And when we come back, it's that time of the day. Fight Song Rake 'em by Bock 101 here on The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
An award-winning softball season deserves a celebration. Don't miss your chance to congratulate Jordy Ball in person. Join the team at Midwest Bank for a special meet and greet on July 16th at their Jamie Lane location as they recognize her incredible achievements. Bring your friends, your team spirit, and your favorite gear for Jordy to sign, and it all kicks off at 4 p.m. They can't wait to see you there. Get all the details at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Need service on your home air conditioner? Call the company Lincoln has counted on since 1952. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. No matter what brand you have, when you need service, you want Bryant's experienced pros working for you. Friendly, NATE certified technicians with the tools, training, and technology to restore your comfort quickly. No matter what brand, when you need service, just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
People always ask me, hey, Livy, what fuels you? Passion, competition, the pursuit of greatness? None of those things. Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their cooked-to-order chicken fingers always fills my tank, and the crinkle-cut fries and Texas toast are the perfect top-off for the perfect road trip. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rolloffs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rolloffs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rolloffs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeRolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, we are back here on Bock in the Blackshirt. Half an hour left with you here on a Window World Wednesday with Todd Euler in studio. Hopefully, Todd, you like some fight songs because we're going to play some fight songs during this thing. Gets you kind of in the football mood. As we got to continue our Big Ten preview heading up to Big Ten Media Day. As we know, the Big 12 Media Days are going on right now. Big Ten Media Days won't start until the 22nd, so we still have some time to get through these teams, but we got to do 2 a day because there are so many teams in this gigantic conference. So we'll jump right into it. I'll turn the music down. We like to start off on the light note and get you to grade the fight song before we get to it. So today we've got a few different teams. We'll start with the Purdue Boilermakers. Devin Mockabee still running around out there, all arms and legs. Here is the Purdue fight song. You guys tell me what you think.
No, a little catchy.
Sound like I'm at the Macy's parade.
Yeah.
And usually your favorite part, Terrell, is when they start singing and chanting. I think that's coming around the corner.
Oh, no.
Well, strike up the band when you can, Purdue, and they weren't able to a whole lot last year.
No.
1-11 last season for Purdue.
Brutal.
Ryan Walters, we talked about, now chased out of town. But new coach Barry Odom comes in. He was the first UNLV coach to have back-to-back winning seasons in 44 years, if you can believe it. However, he was just 25-25 at Missouri from 2016 to 2019, but he had the trouble in following Gary Pinkel there. So it's always tough to follow a legend. They didn't necessarily love what he had going on. So now he had to revive his career at UNLV, back to Purdue. Purdue returns this year 2 returning starters. The defense could start all transfers. Different world in college football. Devin Mockabee, the running back, is one of those guys, along with Kaker Spencer Porath, the only 2 returning starters for this team that had over 50 additions from the portal. They also had 15 defensive backs leave this team via the portal. Purdue brought in 9 defensive backs to try to counter that. Now, as far as Mockabee goes, he's 1,170 yards away from Mike Allstart's career record. So we could see that surpassed, but that would be a heck of a season to pull off here for Mockabee. At quarterback, they have Ryan Brown. And again, this is just kind of a good type of way to look at college football. Through the transfer portal era, Ryan Brown started 2 games last year for Purdue, transferred to North Carolina in December, and then transferred back to Purdue in April to retain that starting job. So there you have it. Other names that you might recognize on the team: Nitro Tuggle, a wide receiver we've talked about from Georgia, who has Nitro, if you remember. One of the Georgia players getting a little bit of trouble for speeding out there. Another name, how about this? Punter Jack McAllister, who's had a short-lived Husker career, transferred in from Washington. And then, of course, Nebraska decided to go with the rugby-style punter. So Jack McAllister out there. Complete rebuilding projects. I mean, I go through these numbers, and it's just going to sound terrible to you. It's not shocking considering they were 1-11. I'm not sure how much these numbers matter because most of the team is gone now. But this is how bad it was. And we talk about those worst hires, Ryan Walters being one of them. This was the reason why. Their offense averaged 15.8 points per game last year. That's 129th in the nation. They were 110th in the nation in rushing with 115 yards per game, 113th in the nation in passing with 184 yards per game. That put their total offense a yard shy of 300 yards for 127th in the nation. Now, their defense didn't do much better. They give up 39.9 points per game. That's 130th in the nation. They allowed 200 yards rushing per game for 119th in the nation and 253 yards through the air for 116th in the nation, for a total of 452 yards given up every time they went out.
Whoa.
123rd in the nation. And to kick it all off, their turnover margin was minus 14. Good for 130th in the nation. So I guess the good news here for Purdue, nowhere to go but up, I suppose. And somewhat unfortunate for Nebraska that they don't play the Boilermakers this year, because I think it's an uphill battle.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take him probably 2 years to get that university turned around. But on another bad note, their fight song is 138th in the nation for me.
You didn't like that either.
No, it's terrible. But Bill and Bennett loves it. 4.1. Old Dad said Purdue is better than the 2 yesterday for sure.
Well, there you go. They've got at least something going for them as we go through this preview here. But yeah, it's kind of interesting too. And remember, Nebraska struggled a little bit with that Purdue team.
Yeah.
It took a John Bullock pick 6 to really gain some space in that game.
I think we had like 10. They had like 10 pass interferences because that was Dylan was getting.
That's right.
Good calls on that game, but we couldn't put it in the end zone.
Yeah, just couldn't punch it in. So that's unfortunate. But no, you don't have to worry about Purdue this year. Just from a distance, know that it's an uphill battle. So if they can even win 4 games this year, I think that'd be an impressive turnaround, if you will, for the Boilermakers. Let's jump into Rutgers. Rutgers, the team Nebraska played last year, again, won't play this year. Some familiar faces there. But let's listen to their fight song and see how you guys would like to grade it out. I don't even know what they're chanting, but there's something about Rutgers and RU football. So there you go. Rutgers much better than Purdue last season. In fact, they're doing pretty good with Greg Schiano's turnaround. He's now 94-101 all-time at Rutgers, which if you know about Rutgers, that's actually pretty good, even though it's a losing record. 7-6 this last season, and there's talk around campus about them maybe having the most talent that Rutgers has had since Greg Schiano's return. Part of that, 11 returning starters, 7 on offense, 2 on defense, as well as their kicker and punter. They feel particularly good about their offense. 4 offensive linemen returning for the Scarlet Knights, and Ethan Kaliak-Manis still has some eligibility left. The transfer from Minnesota last year for Rutgers had 2,696 yards and threw for 18 touchdowns as well. They have 3 wide receivers returning with over 425 yards. So already have some chemistry developed there. Now they do have to replace Kyle Monangai, who had back-to-back 1,200 yards rushing seasons. That will be the big challenge for the offense this year. Florida Atlantic transfer C.J. Campbell ran for 844 yards last year for the Owls. He could fit that rule. Rutgers, as I mentioned, their offense, not so much the problem last year, though. If you can imagine with Kaliak-Manis back there, the Greek rifle, as they call him, not the top of the league, but still did pretty good. They ended up losing 3 games last year when they scored more than 30. So the defense had a little bit to do with their struggles last season. Although we know Schiano usually has a pretty darn good defense, struggled a little bit last year. They have to replace 7 other top 10 tacklers from that year. So we'll see how they can do there. The good news is their kicker and punter look good. And of course, as we know, special teams can be a big difference in the Big Ten and in football in general. Kicker Jake Patel, 15 of 19 last year, and punter Jacob Anderson averaged 42.6 yards per punt. They won 4 Big Ten games for the first time since joining the conference. Again, to let you know that this feels like it's heading in the right direction. The problem with this year, I mean, this all sounds pretty good for Rutgers. Maybe you'd think this is the year for them to take off. They've got a pretty tough schedule. They've got Iowa, at Minnesota, at Washington, Oregon, at Illinois, at Ohio State, and Penn State. All on the schedule.
Oh, my
Very
God.
difficult schedule for Rutgers. And just to run through their numbers quickly, 28.9 points per game last year. That was good for 55th. Like we said, against Nebraska, they only scored 7. So hats off to Nebraska's defense for holding them down there. 175-yard rushing per game, 207 yards passing for a total of 382 yards per game. That was 71st in the nation. Defense gave up more than what they'd want to, 25.4 points per game. That's good for 71st in the country. It was about just as bad through the air as it was on the ground. 89th in rush defense, 87th in pass defense, 393 yards per game is 95th overall. So I guess the hope there for Rutgers this year is the defense. Greg Schiano, typically a good defensive coach with a good defensive team, steps up and kind of help that offense to get back and be a little bit more competitive. Again, the bad news is Washington, Oregon, Illinois, Ohio State, Penn State, all those on the schedule.
Yeah. Well, Bock, I'm going to start firing band directors. So
you didn't like that, right?
None have piqued my interest right now. Of course, Bill loves it, and Bennett 6.8.
He loved that one.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're chanting here, but and you're not a big fan of the chants. I think that starts to take you out of it, huh?
Hoorah, hoorah. I don't know what they're saying. 67-32 gives you a 3.25, I guess.
Well, that's better, but it sounds like people like the Purdue one a little bit more in general for the scores. But, we'll keep those going. Maybe they'll get better. Maybe you'll start to recognize them a little bit more as we move up the Big Ten. You might have noticed I haven't started with the best teams. We'll kind of do that as we build up the Big Ten Media Days.
All right. When we come back on Bock and the Blackshirt, we'll go over some of the top rushers in the Big Ten in the last 25 years. Who's the leading rusher with one season, Bock, in the last 25 years of the best Big Ten? Who has the best rushing yards? Not in a 4-year career, one season, Bock. All right, we'll be right back at Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
People always ask me, hey, Livy, what fuels you? Passion, competition, the pursuit of greatness? None of those things. Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their cooked-to-order chicken fingers always fills my tank, and the crinkle-cut fries and Texas toast are the perfect top-off for the perfect road trip. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt, on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket with the Window World Wednesday with Todd Euler. He's finally back in the studio,
Yes,
guys.
sorry. Had to go see my son.
Oh, okay.
Needed some stuff.
Yeah, you should invite him in for a minute,
He's
man.
chicken.
We'll love. He'll need to be chicken. They had Linda Meyer on yesterday. So
I keep telling him, and he goes, I don't know what I'd say.
Oh.
He's part of that hit squad. They don't say much, they just hit people.
All right, Bock, give us the news.
Yeah, there is some news. Nebraska Football Hall of Fame introducing the 2025 class for the Nebraska Football Hall of Fame this year. Of course, Terrell, you're somewhat familiar with that. Brett Maher off the staff now introduced into the Hall of Fame. Darren Diedrich, the late great Darren Diedrich, into the Hall of Fame. Kenny Bell, fan favorite for many through the Bo Pelini era. Derek Brown, Tom Welter, and Bob Nelson as well. So the 6 inducted into the Hall of Fame. I'll read it one more time. Bob Nelson, Brett Maher, Darren Diedrich, Derek Brown, Kenny Bell, and Tom Welter.
Congratulations to those guys,
Derek
man.
Brown.
Derek Brown, he's one of the Weebacks that was with the late Calvin Jones back in the day.
So I watched in high school.
Yep.
Playing, man.
I think
he was good.
Yeah, they got UNO Tom Skutko. He's going to be honored for the year state college representative. Longtime academic advisor Dennis LeBlanc will be awarded the Leah Breisemer Special Merit Award.
Oh, Dennis.
Yeah.
Tried to keep everybody
Dr. Swanson. You remember Dr. Swanson?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be receiving the Clarence, hold on. I don't know who they.
You're receiving an award.
Yeah, he's receiving, yeah.
For some. Named
yeah.
for somebody, yeah.
That's a good little class right there.
Yeah. Congratulations.
All right, Bock, we got about what, 5-6 minutes? Oh, you made me forget about it when you told me about we was going to do that.
Yeah, you were teasing the best single season rushing performer for the last 25 years. I think I've got it. I didn't look it up. I think I've got it, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, Bock. You're
25, so since 2000, huh?
Yeah,
in the Big Ten.
Big Ten. Got to be a Wisconsin guy.
I think you're on the right path.
Got to be. I think
All
he was
right,
number
I'm
4.
going to read them by the year.
Okay.
205. Well, it goes back to 2005, Bob.
Oh, 2005.
2005. 20 years.
Still not changing my answer.
Brian Cahoon. He had 348 rushes for 1,600 yards.
Yeah, that's Wisconsin running back.
P.J. Hill, 311. This is 2006.
This is also a Wisconsin running back.
311 for 1,569. Rashad Mendenhall, 2007.
Illinois. Yeah, Illinois guy in there, yeah.
262 for 1,681. Sean Green, 2008. 307 attempts for 1,850.
They played some offense at Iowa, if you can remember. It's been a while now.
Running offense.
Yeah, they ran.
2009, Wisconsin, John Clay. 287 attempts for 1,517 yards. Now, this is what I can't believe. 2010, Denard Robinson.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Shoelace.
256 attempts at 1,702. Was he a quarterback?
He was.
And he had that many?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
That was his game.
2011, Monty Ball.
There you go.
307.
Another Wisconsin guy.
1923.
Ooh.
2012, Monty Ball. 356 attempts, 1,830. 2013, who was it, Bock?
Melvin Gordon.
No. 2013, Amir Abdullah.
Amir
281 yards for 16.
We must not be at number one yet.
No, this is this
year by year.
Year by year.
Oh, okay. Oh, year by year. I see.
Now, this is the guy who, okay, now listen. All right. 2014, Melvin Gordon.
There you go.
343 attempts, 2,587 yards.
Should have won the Heisman that year.
Right?
Should have won the Heisman.
2015, Ezekiel Elliott. Let me see how many. My phone about to die anyway, but okay. 289 yards, 1821.
Yeah.
2016, Justin Jackson.
Northwestern.
Oh,
wow.
298 yards, 298 attempts, 1524. 17, Jonathan Taylor. 299, 1977. 2018, Jonathan Taylor. 307, 2194. 2019, Jonathan Taylor / J.K. Dobbins.
Okay, J.K. Dobbins got in there.
Both of them had 2,003 yards. 20, Muhammad. This is Ibrahim.
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the COVID year.
Yep.
201 carries, 1,076 yards. 2021, Melvin Walker III. 263.
Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker III. Yeah, Kenneth Walker III. 1636. Bock again, Muhammad
Ibrahim?
Yep. 320 for 1665. Rutgers guy, 23.
Kyle Monunga, yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Monunga. I'm glad you said his last name because I would have tore it up. 242 for 1,262 yards. 24, Caleb Johnson. 240 attempts, 1537. I got one more. 25, Emmett Johnson. 301 carries, 1802.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
Good projection.
Yeah, I'm just
Trying to see 301 carries divided by 12. That's 25 a game. Wow.
25 what?
Carries a game.
Yeah, that's what he needs. That's what he
the bowl game or
Yeah.
the playoff run that you're counting, maybe a little less.
Playoff run, yeah.
Yeah, then there'll be a few more games, a few more carries.
Bill and Bennett says 6.8 doesn't mean I love it. I just like it better than Purdue. All right, man. We thank you here today for Win the World Wednesday. Ty Eula, thank you for coming in.
You bet.
Check us out tomorrow from the same time, same place. Bock in the Black Shirt at 93.7 The Ticket.
Hey guys, you have heard about the Farrell's 10-week challenge for years on the ticket. If you still haven't joined us for this amazing challenge, what are you waiting for? You could be our next $1,000 winner like Derek, who just lost 30 pounds, 23 inches, and 8% body fat. Derek changed his life in the 10-week challenge, and so can you. Farrell's combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition coaching to get you the results you have been waiting for. Join us July 12th for the Summer 10-Week Challenge. Go to fxblincoln.com to enroll today.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Rolloffs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sizes of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Rolloffs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Rolloffs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeRolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Rolloffs, cleanup made simple.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well